Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today I wanted to talk about holistic approaches for anxiety and stress management. This episode is all about helping you find calm when life feels really heavy. I am currently in a period of life where things are very stressful and emotional. I am still dealing with my back injury, so I'm not able to use my regular outlet of exercise as a coping strategy. I've been leaning more into holistic practices and other ways to cope instead. I'm going to be very real with you. I have been very down recently, and it's been hard to find ways to get out of that. So, because I'm in the thick of it, I thought I would share what is helping me in hopes that if you're struggling too, this can help you as well. So, this episode is for anyone feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or disconnected, and looking for grounding, gentle ways to find peace. The first thing I wanted to discuss is honoring where you are. It is so important to not push through or ignore stress. A little bit of stress is normal, but if you're constantly feeling anxious, burnt out, exhausted, and you're just not yourself, this should not be ignored. Sometimes our body says pause, and that is okay. If you keep going and ignore your body's signs, it will only get worse. So often in our culture, there's this obsession with powering through or being productive no matter what. But healing does not happen in hustle mode. It happens in the pause. Slowing down doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to listen. And listening to your body is one of the most powerful and self-loving things you can do. So what does it actually look like to honor where you are? Here are some examples. Taking more breaks, saying no to plans, allowing yourself to cry or rest, letting go of guilt for not being on or productive. These might sound small, but they are powerful acts of self-care, especially in a world that tells us to just keep pushing. If you haven't listened to episode 31, Body Wisdom, yet, I highly recommend it so you can understand the cues your body might be giving you. For me lately, I'm noticing I'm constantly tired, I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'm dreaming a lot, both dreams and nightmares. My skin is flared up, my digestion is flared up, and I'm getting upset or angry about smaller things. These are all very clear signs to me that I'm not in my normal state. And this is completely understandable and normal considering my circumstances, but that doesn't mean it has to stay that way. I can do things that will help me feel even a little bit better and hopefully reduce some of these symptoms. If I were to continue to ignore all of this, I know I would get extremely depressed and my physical health would also decline. This is my body telling me that I need to slow down and soften rather than push through. I also think there's a difference between distraction and ignoring. I am also trying to find ways to distract myself, and work has been a huge help for this. However, I don't want to constantly distract myself because it's also important to me to feel my feelings and work through it. Finding a balance between working through the emotions and also not wallowing in it is crucial. So like I said, exercise has always been my outlet when it comes to stress and anxiety. So if you're feeling this way, I highly recommend moving your body in whatever way is best for you, whether that's weight training, walking, running, Pilates, yoga, swimming, whatever you want to do. Exercise can help your mood so much. But for me, I'm not able to exercise as much or in the way that makes me feel best because of my back injury. I love lifting heavy weights and going for long walks or hiking, and I was really starting to enjoy running too. So right now I'm going for short walks, doing my physio, and very light or bodyweight exercises. It definitely doesn't give me the same sense of relief as before. Because of this, I've had to explore other outlets that don't require me to be physically active. So I would suggest adding these in addition to exercise if you're able to exercise. And if you're not, then these can be a great way to relieve stress and anxiety. The first thing that has really helped me is breath work and meditation. This has helped calm my nervous system and think more clearly. I really enjoy box breathing, which is where you do a count of whatever number. I usually do 4. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and then repeat. I found this method the most helpful, but there are so many other breathing techniques you can do. If I am ever feeling overwhelmed or upset, I go to a quiet place like my bedroom or the bathroom, and I just take 3 really deep breaths. Sometimes it's not about doing a full 20-minute breath session. Sometimes it's about those micro moments of calm. Focusing on my breathing helps calm my nervous system, slow my breathing, and I focus on my breaths instead of whatever I'm thinking about. Breathwork taps into your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest and recovery. So when you breathe deeply, you're telling your body you're safe, and that is very powerful. I often also practice breathwork during my guided meditations, so I try different techniques. Meditation and visualization has been a major anxiety reliever. Most of the meditations I do are only 5 minutes. The max I do right now is 10 minutes. I use the app Balance. They usually have really good deals on the membership. I paid like $10 for a year or something wild, but I've also heard really good things about Headspace, and there are also a ton on Spotify and YouTube. You can look up meditations for specific problems you are having, like stress and anxiety, or maybe you need to focus more, or are in pain or grieving. There are endless resources for this. Meditation is one way to look inward, but sometimes we need an outside perspective too. That's where therapy has been a game changer. During therapy, we often do visualizations as I'm preparing to start EMDR. My favorite visualization is called Calm Place. I'm sure you can look up guided visualization for this on YouTube. Every time I do it with my therapist, I feel so calm and content, and my body just feels less tense. So I'm working on trying to incorporate this in my day-to-day when I'm feeling stressed or upset. I've done it a couple times, and it really helped. I do find it's harder to get to this place, though, without the guidance from someone else. We have also done the container. This is where you visualize a container, and all this is guided too, so it's very specific. And then you picture all the worries and anything you don't need to think about or worry about right now going into the container. You can always come back to them when needed, but they can be placed in the container until you're ready. I really love this one too because it actually calms me down so much and clears my mind. I really struggle with shutting off my brain. I am constantly thinking about a million things at once, so this has helped me feel less overwhelmed. Before bed, I often have racing thoughts, and the other day I tried this technique and I just put all those thoughts into my container and it actually worked really well. It sounds kind of silly and weird, but it truly helps me so much. It's definitely worth looking into. Again, you can find a guided version, I'm sure, on YouTube. In addition to these visualizations, therapy has helped me talk to someone neutral and gives me a safe space to share my emotions and problems. It has helped me think more clearly about situations, find coping strategies, and I'm very excited to finally start EMDR to help me heal and hopefully give me some relief. I've talked about EFT tapping before as well, but this is another great tool to relieve stress and anxiety. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and what you do is tap on specific acupressure points on the body while focusing on an issue or emotion. This helps relieve stress and anxiety and regulates your nervous system. There are a ton of options on YouTube you can look up. Reiki is another method I use. As a Reiki practitioner, I love giving Reiki to others, but sometimes I struggle with taking the time to give Reiki on myself or get it done by another person. However, when I do receive Reiki either from myself or someone else, I always feel so much better after. It's gentle, powerful, and helps me shift energetically when my mind is spinning. It also helps me fall asleep too. For a while, I was doing Reiki on myself most nights before bed to help me sleep, and it really did work. Yoga and stretching are also such great tools. I haven't done yoga since my injury, but when this podcast episode comes out, I'll actually be going to a yoga event that day. Before my injury, yoga was such a great way to help me feel relaxed and relieve some tension. It was my happy place, and I loved going. I'm going to see how I feel after this class to see if it's something I can start doing again. I know I can probably do some yin classes, but this one is more of a flow, so we will see how I feel after. I have been stretching a lot though, and this helps too. I would say it doesn't help as much as yoga for my mind, but it still calms me down and helps relax me. You can even do some light stretching as soon as you wake up while you're still in bed, or get onto the floor and stretch it out. Being outside, especially since the weather is getting nicer, has also been huge. Being outside in general helps my mood so much. So for me, this could look like going for a walk, doing a super easy short hike, reading my book outside, sitting on a patio and having a drink, or just laying in the sun. So sunlight and fresh air is huge for me, but I would say being in nature, like when I'm hiking or in a park or something, it's especially helpful. I don't know what it is, but when I'm around trees and flowers and animals, I just feel so at peace. I have always felt this way, and actually my calm place that I talked about earlier is out in nature. Grounding is something my therapist and I talked about last time, and I think it's so important for everybody. Sometimes I have trouble grounding myself because I'm always in my head, but this is such a simple way to ground. I think sometimes we forget how healing the earth is when we're stuck in stress loops. Let me take you through a quick guided visualization to help you feel more calm. If it's safe to do so, close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself standing barefoot in the grass. Feel the earth beneath you. Picture sunlight warming your face, trees rustling nearby, and birds chirping. Let yourself sink into that scene. Even if you can't physically be there, your body can still respond to the imagery. Take a moment in this stillness. When you connect with that sense of calm, even just for a moment, it becomes easier to tune into what you're truly feeling. And this is where journaling has been such a powerful tool for me. After grounding yourself, you can turn to writing as a way to understand what is coming up emotionally and mentally. Journaling has been such an amazing tool to empty my mind and soothe anxiety. I think I talked about this in my communication episode, but I said how I was getting frustrated one day and I went up to my room and started journaling. I just wrote down exactly how I was feeling. Instantly, I felt so much better and I was able to see things more clearly. Sometimes it's just helpful to get my emotions out to work through them, and other times when it's written out, I can see where I'm actually wrong or overreacting to situations. Once it's on paper, I sometimes think, oh, I'm definitely blowing this out of proportion. So, whether I'm just getting my feelings out or realizing I'm overreacting, it's a great way to calm my mind. Here are some journaling prompts you can try. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me today? What emotion feels the loudest right now? What do I need less of? What do I need more of? These are great questions to reflect and dig a little deeper into how you're feeling so you can work through those emotions. Herbal support is another tool to help stress and anxiety. I know many people who drink herbal teas to help them, and I personally take ashwagandha on days I'm feeling extra anxious. I have a supplement called Inner Calm, and it has ashwagandha in it, and it really helps calm me down and makes me feel more relaxed. I've also talked about sound healing before, like going to sound bowls. I haven't gone in a while actually, but I love going. After a sound bowl session, I feel so calm and full of joy, and it helps ground me. I often have epiphanies when I'm there too, or it helps me think a bit differently about a situation. I also use sleep frequencies, and they have been fantastic. You can search up different frequencies to help with different things. It doesn't just have to be for sleep. Like you can listen to this type of music when you're feeling overwhelmed, and it can help calm you down. Lastly, setting boundaries is so important. Sometimes the most holistic thing you can do is say no. Protect your peace and say no to things you don't want to do. Stop saying yes so much at work if it's causing you unnecessary stress. Stop saying yes every single time someone needs your help. You can help in other ways. Obviously, you want to be a good person and help when you can, but like I've said so many times before, you can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritize you and your needs, and you will feel so much better. I want to remind you all that it's okay not to be okay. It doesn't mean you are broken or will never get out of it. Stress is a signal, not a flaw. So understand your stress signals and do something about it. If you're feeling anxious or stressed, try breathwork, short meditations, EFT tapping, or Reiki. Go outside, stretch, journal, set boundaries. Try one thing, just one, and see how it shifts your day. Healing doesn't have to be big and dramatic. It's the small, loving actions that add up. And it's okay not to feel better immediately after trying these things. It takes trial and error, and the more you do it, the more it will help. I also want to encourage you to be gentle on yourself and choose grace and understanding instead of numbing or pushing through. Don't ignore these signs. they are telling your body that you need support. When you try one of these things, I would love it if you would DM me on Instagram or share on your story and tag me. You can find me at growthroughit.pod. I would also love to hear what your holistic tools are that you have found helpful. I am always open to trying new things. If you enjoyed this episode, you can rate and review this podcast and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. I truly hope this episode helps you feel even a little bit better, or maybe just not feel so alone in how you're feeling. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.